guys, Shanna Kramer here with Creatively Uncorked. Just popping in for an impromptu live just because I can. So I just had a few minutes and I thought, what the heck? I'll just, because all of the artists here get to do lives on a regular basis except for me. And I was feeling a little jealous and I really wanted to do one too. So if you pop in, say hi, let me know you're here. So I just wanted to grab a little painting and I thought, why not just challenge myself? So here's the challenge that I have today is, okay, I get to do a live. However, I can only use the paint that was left behind by the previous artist that did a live. And I have these colors here. So I can only use those. I can only use those colors and I can only use these brushes, which are the brushes that were just sitting in a pile right next to this table. And I could only use one of these canvas scraps. And these canvas scraps we've been cutting up in the studio lately and just using these just for quick little sketch paintings. Pretty handy and do recommend. So I have this koi. I've been wanting to paint a koi we have it on the schedule later this month. You'll see it up in the calendar in either July as a live or possibly even in September as a Creative Box live. So that would be different, but it'll end up on the calendar one way or another. So I just have, I have this little sketch that I'm just kind of loosely following. And I figured I'd start with a black or a blue background just because it's nice to work with opposite colors, with contrasting colors, just because, well, you know, for vibrancy. And kois are generally going to be orange, orange and white. Not always, but that's kind of the most common color. And that's the color I'm going to use because it's what I have. I have yellow and orange for some red, so that's what I'll have for my koi. So I'm just going to sketch another one. I kind of sketched the one kind of there a bit ago, so I'll see if I can just sketch another one right here. Koi are kind of fun to sketch. I like fish. I used to have a bunch of fish tanks when I was younger. So many fish tanks. I actually almost bought an entire pet store one time. Probably, well, I know it's for the best that I didn't. But would have been, well, it would have been animal full. I would have had so many animals. But I didn't really need a whole pet store since I had a whole house full of animals. I had an apartment. The rule with the apartment was no cats and dogs. Okay, you can have pets, you can't have cats and dogs. They said you could have like hamsters, you know, something in a cage would be fine. Fish are fine. So I took that to the extreme. I believe I had about 8 fish tanks at one time, and I had, oh, a little big right there. Shrink that up. Okay, so about 8 fish tanks, and then I had 2 iguanas, 2 other lizards that I can't remember what they were called. A lobster, a blue lobster. Who'd have thought they're not just food, right? You can have them as pets. My son had a hamster. And yes, I also had a son at the time. So we had quite the house full. Yeah, and a lot of fish. So none of them are koi. All right, so now I'm gonna grab a plate that I can use for a palette. And I've kind of got my pencil sketch here. I was debating on tracing it with a Sharpie, but I don't really think I need to. I think I'll just take a little bit of each color and just put it right out on my paper plate palette. Maybe I'll just start with the colors that I actually need, which would be the red and yellow. And the white, of course. There. Okay, so I think I want to go with a little bit of, see, I've got that little bit of transparent white. So you can see a lot of the background through. So a lot of this is going to get covered up when I add the orange, but not all of it. Some of it will definitely show through. So I don't want to be messing it up. So I'll make this part actually pretty smooth to start with. I'm not adding any fish scales or anything like that right now. Koi have the prettiest tails. I don't know if they're the prettiest fish, but, and actually I think koi art is more interesting than the koi. Okay, got some fins over here. Just go ahead and put those down with some white. And this is the dorsal fin, and we've got those little, oh boy, the backside fins. Okay, so there's my little baby fish. I'm gonna have a baby fish and a mama fish. Not really, but it's just a big fish and a little fish anyhow. So there we are. I feel like this could be the beginning of a series of koi. These are a lot more fun to draw and paint than I realized. I don't know why I haven't been painting them my entire life. I should have been painting these all along. I really don't know why I haven't. If you pop in, say hi. I might not be able to see who you are, but it's okay. Say hi anyway. I'll be able to check comments and get back to you when I'm off screen. Okay, back to that big fin. This one's got kind of a belly. There we are. So again, I'm going to have those little side fins and the big dorsal fin on this one as well. All right, on to some color. So I'll just set that brush aside and go back to my orange brush that I have just sitting here in the paint, not in my brush or not in my water like it should be. So that's just a note to you. Do as I say, not as I do. Just go ahead and keep your brushes in the water. Okay, so now I'm going to go with a big old orange spot. And koi, they don't really have any set pattern. They have you can kind of get away with putting the color wherever you want it. So I'll add some fun little orange spotty shapes. And they kind of have shapes wherever. It's not like they have one big spot and 7 little spots. You can kind of make whatever spots you want in any size you want. You just put them wherever the heck you want. There, I'll make this fin mostly orange, maybe hint more red right out on the end. There, a couple little more orangey spots down toward the tail. Well, that's kind of fun looking, almost like a leopardy pattern. And a big, mostly white fin, I think, on that one. Same over here. We'll give it some orange spots. A little bit on the fin out there. Your fins can have spots just like the rest of them. It doesn't have to be similar spots, even spots. It can just be whatever kind of spots. A little bit of orange right down there on the tail. Just gonna make a small little tiny highlight. Maybe I'll even brighten it up with some yellow. Yeah, nope. Going back to orange. Oh, gotta quick send a text. I'll get back to the painting in a second. Okay. All right, so now I've got some good brights. I've got some good whites. So my whites can definitely be whiter, but this is going to be, I've got some shadowy areas that I want to leave those alone, and where it kind of fades and you can see through to the background, that will be my shadow area. I'm kind of working out of my head because I don't have any reference photos of a koi. Not that I've never seen any before, I have, but I've never painted from those. So that's, you know, you kind of have to paint something a few times before you really feel like you know it, if that makes sense. Just having seen something before doesn't really help. So I'm gonna kind of make my highlight way over on this side. Because I know I'm gonna have a highlight right up here on the spine, and this, I'm defining my spine, is right here. So I'm just gonna brighten that up right on down the spine. Okay, and that, this dorsal fin, maybe I'll just give that a big wiggly highlight. They do have fun fins. Fun wiggly fins. All right, so I've got a highlight on that one. It's not feeling really complete yet, but I at least have the highlight on it, and I've got the shape of the fish, and I want to put an eye right down here. That's where I want to put the eye. So I want to make sure that this looks like the spine right up top. You know, so there is a restaurant in town that has koi. They have a huge koi pond that goes right through the whole place. I like to visit their koi. I've even named some of them. And they serve sushi, so that's even better. If you're a sushi fan, you know how addictive it is. And I haven't been there in months. Of course, it's, you know, COVID shut down right now. I really seriously hope they pull through, because I need a sushi fix and miss my little baby koi. Okay, they're not my koi. It's Kobe's koi, but I can go there and look at them. So, and their koi were huge. They were like, can I tell a fishing story here? Ginormous. And I don't even know. I mean, if huge. And then one day we went there, and all the big koi were gone. They were just gone. They have another tank that's there also, but they have smaller fish, and I think most of those smaller fish aren't koi. I think they're like different types of goldfish, some kind of fun and interesting ones, but I don't think they were koi. Anyway, so we went back there, and all the big koi are gone, and they had a tank full of small koi, or the pond was full of small koi. So all my koi that I had been visiting for all these years are just all of a sudden gone. And I wanted to ask what happened to them, but I didn't. Isn't that silly? Because I didn't want to know. I mean, I hope they went to another person who takes care of koi. Maybe they have somebody who, you know, just can put them in a bigger pond where they can be, you know, have a little more room, because they were big and they were seriously outgrowing that gigantic pond. So, well, let's see. Okay, that is not so bad. I got a couple of details here, of white details, before I start adding real details. So I'll just take these little whiskers here. And by real details, I mean eyes. That's really about it. Koi are basically like catfish. So if you ever go catfishing, if you ever go river fishing, and if you ever catch a fish that you just kind of go, ew, what am I going to do with this? That's kind of what koi are, except they're a little more colorful. That's it. a lot more colorful, and they're way more pretty. All right, so I've got some highlights in here. I'm thinking I want to just brighten up the highlights on the back of the koi, just where the orange is, because I'm kind of obliterating it here with the white, but that's not my intention. I think I want to brighten it all up a little, just right on the highlights, right where the orange is, there. And next time I paint a koi, I think I should use a photo reference. That's okay. This is meant to be a fun 10-minute painting. So that's what we have these canvas scraps for, is for our 10-minute paintings. So we'll do lives, and then at the end of the painting, we will do a 10-minute giveaway, and that's when we do like the 10-minute little painting on this little scrap of canvas, and then give that away. So now I think I need to move on to my eyes. And what color? I think maybe I'll try to go with a blue. Well, I'm limited to my colors to whatever was left behind, and my darkest color is a blue, so my eyes will be blue. End of story. And I'll put them, I've got the spine up here, so I want to put the eyes right here. Oofda. Got some weird bristles sticking out of this thing. Okay, well, so be it. That's my challenge, working with what I have. Not going to whine about brushes. I'm not going to get new brushes. I'm going to use what I have, and I'm just going to do a quick little live, and I'm going to paint some koi. Life is good. You know, what's the real reason we do art, right? Art is therapy, basically. If you've had a stressful day, a 10-minute painting, 20-minute painting might be just the thing. Well, I'm not too happy with the side of that face. I don't have black, so I'm just going to have to trying to get a better shadow color here with what I've got. I can get a purple. There we go. I can even add a little bit of orange to it. There we are. Orange and blue are your, opposite colors, so they're going to kind of cancel each other out and turn kind of a gray or a brown, which I think is what I kind of want for my shadow. There, that's better. With this little tiny brush, that's what takes all day. So little brushes are good for, right? Oh, plus I like that purple shadow on that orange, contrasting the orange. Yeah, I like that. Kind of highlights the fin a little better too. I think I've got a different brush for every color now. I mean, I know some people paint like that in the first place, but I don't normally. So kind of a stickler about, I don't like cleaning brushes, so I don't want to use too many. But what the heck? No rules, challenges. This is my painting. Okay. Just a couple more highlights there on the head, I think. I'll see if I can get that eye to show up a little bit better. Guess I have to switch back to my eye brush, right? Maybe if I try some of this turquoise instead of the purple, or with the purple. Yeah. I'll just lighten that back up a little. And now I'm going to stop. Move on to the next fish. There comes a point that you just have to stop because it's not going to get better, it's only going to get worse. And this is meant to be a 10-minute painting. I've already been futzing with it a little too much, a little too long. So get that little nose on there, get some little shadows on the little whiskers. The eye is going to go on the inside. And get that purple shadow in there. Kind of got that purple shadow figured out on the first fish, so now I can just add it right in on this one. Man, I really do like that purple in this. It's a really good shadow color for this. Okay, back to needing more white. And I know that there are whites out there that are just like glowingly bright white. This is not one of them. This white seems to be a little transparent, so I keep kind of painting over and over the same areas, and it just keeps kind of fading. But it is what it is. There. Got that weird fin right out there. Let's see, what can I do with that fin? Maybe I'll just add a little touch of orange on there just to kind of, well, bring back the koi color. There. Now we're getting back to the fun shapes again. You know, I'll just punch up a few of these little oranges in here. After all, got to contrast that blue. Isn't this fun? We have these little canvas scraps. What we're doing is when we have paintings that we kind of build up paintings around here. We just kind of collect so many of them around here. So when we get too many paintings and there's some that we just are kind of done with and need to get them out of here, we will just chop them up, cut them right off the frame, cut them up, paint over, you know, paint a different background color, and then we just have a fun background color to work with. And I was debating on adding a little turquoise into the background, but you know what? I don't think I will. I think I'm going to leave it. I'll add a little bit of shadow, some of that purpley shadow color that I like, kind of right back here into this tail. Might need to mix a little more. I'll just darken up that tail a little. So now I'm leaving now I'm leaving these paints for the next artist, and they're going to be all mucked up. I painted with a friend down in Minneapolis, or St. Paul, I should say. No, it was Minneapolis, Minnesota, several weeks back now. And she gave me my own palette, and I guess that's not the way they do things there, but she gave me my own palette and said that she had to do it that way because she thought I was going to mess everything up. She thought I was going to mess up the shared palette. And you know what? She was right. Yep. Don't give me a palette and tell me I have to share it with everybody, because that's not how things work in my world. I start painting and kind of forget the rules and just keep doing my own thing. And there, now I'm getting some of that highlight back. Of course, it'll probably fade. This is a transparent white, but I don't like how that's looking. Let's see here. I think this is starting to take a little longer than 10 minutes. And my phone is kind of going a little bit here. I know people are expecting me home, so about 1 more minute on this 10-minute painting. Been 24 minutes, okay. It will be a 25-minute painting, and then I will stop. Of course, that's 25 minutes including a sketch, so does that count? We'll get that big highlight on top of the head, right above the eye. Here too, big head highlight, there. And yes, I could keep going on this, but I think I need to call it. So here we are. Here is our, I'll call it a 10-minute koi, even though it took us 25 minutes. So here we are. There's a nice quick little sketch for you. It was a lot of fun for me. So if you're watching, I hope you got to enjoy it too. See you next time.